Let's paint this T-Rex. So here are the supplies I used. I used cold press watercolor paper. I taped it down onto a masonite board. I do that so the paper doesn't bubble up. Well, it still will bubble up, but when it dries, it'll actually dry flat if you keep it taped to the board. So you have to fight some of the wrinkling, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then I used 6 acrylic Turner gouache paints. I used aqua blue, sepia, deep green, neutral gray 5, lamp black, and white. I like those colors. They seem to work well together. It's a good color palette. This whole painting was done with just those 6. Essentially, I started the drawing off, or the painting off with the drawing, and then I inked it in. Once inked in, then I started the painting process. I like to paint the background first, and I kind of take a watercolor approach to it. I sprayed the whole painting down with a spray bottle and then added paints. Since it is an acrylic paint, it's somewhat opaque sometimes. So that's the benefit of inking in your dinosaur drawing or whatever you're drawing. The paint will go over the ink, but you'll still be able to see it through. Where if you just left it as a pencil sketch, you could potentially lose your drawing, which isn't a bad thing, but it makes it easier if it was inked, even though you're going to paint over the ink part again and again. It's just helpful so you don't lose the drawing. Then once I get to the dinosaur part, I just block it in with the biggest brush possible. Since this is a 9x12, the biggest brush possible for me to use in this small dinosaur painting is probably a 1/2 inch flat brush. I block in all the major shapes and colors that I possibly can, and then from there I work down to a round brush and then down to a liner brush for the fine details. But I try to stick with the flat brush for as much as I can until I get to those details. And then here I just start adding in more and more details and just kind of working the scales, and you can kind of use glazes, just pushing it a little bit further and further into realism. The more detail you put in an object, then you have to kind of make that cohesive throughout the whole piece. So I try to keep the whole piece the same amount of level of detail. So if you like this painting, consider hitting that like button and maybe even subscribing. It helps the algorithm out. I'm new to YouTube, and let me know in the comments what I should paint next. And thanks for watching.